Listen, family, pull up a chair and get comfortable, because we have got to talk about something immediately, and I mean right now. Claressa Shields has gone and done something that has the whole internet doubled over in tears, and trust me when I say I am not being even a little bit dramatic. The comment sections are smoking, the group chats have not stopped buzzing, and my own inbox has been blowing up since before the sun even came up this morning. Claressa Shields just dropped a brand new music video alongside a young female rapper who goes by the name of Young Lyric. And family, somebody in this culture needs to pull Claressa Shields to the side, sit her down, and softly, lovingly, carefully tell her the honest truth. Because the outfit, the energy, the stance, and the purse. Yes, my people, you heard me correctly, the purse has the entire culture in absolute shambles. Lord, give us strength. Phew, chilly. We are about to unpack every single piece of this, so do not go anywhere. Welcome back to the channel, my day ones, my real ones, my loyal soldiers who pull up every single time the tea is piping hot. If this is your first time here, do me a quick favor. Smash that subscribe button, tap that like, and send this video straight into your group chat. Because what we are covering today is not something you want to hear secondhand from somebody else. And before we get rolling, a quick housekeeping note. Everything discussed on this channel is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes. Every claim is alleged unless proven otherwise, and all the straight receipts are sitting down in the description box below waiting for you. Now lock in with me, because we are going for a ride. Let me paint the picture first so everybody is on the same page. Claressa Shields, the very same Claressa Shields who has crowned herself the GWOAT of women's boxing. The very same Claressa Shields who just went the full distance with K. Scott. The very same Claressa Shields who has been trending on and off all summer long, has decided yet again that boxing gloves alone are simply not enough for her. Claressa Shields wants the microphone. Claressa Shields wants a rap career. And family, I have genuinely tried. I have tried in every video. I have tried in every live stream. I have tried in every single comment reply to stay positive and encouraging with her. I have said, sister, keep grinding, keep training, keep building that legendary legacy inside the ring. But every few months, without fail, Claressa Shields pops back up on my timeline with another track, another verse, another freestyle, and every single time the internet responds in the exact same way. They laugh. They laugh loudly. They laugh in languages I did not even know existed. And here is the unfiltered truth that nobody in her circle seems willing to say out loud. Claressa Shields is not a rapper. Claressa Shields is a fighter. And you cannot keep demanding that the culture accept you as something you so clearly are not. I understand that sounds brutal, but stay with me, because this was not just some throwaway verse this time around. Claressa Shields jumped on a From the Block performance, which happens to be one of the biggest and most respected urban street performance platforms on the internet right now, standing right next to a rising female rapper named Young Lyric on a record called Can't F With Me. And rather than that performance elevating Claressa Shields as a serious, credible artist, it turned into what the entire comment section is now officially labeling, and I am reading this word for word, family, a From the Gutter performance. Sister, please. Now, before we take another single step, I need you to visualize the scene, because the visual is absolutely critical to understanding this catastrophe. Young Lyric is standing there handling her business, dressed the part, delivering her verses, locking into her cadence, giving the camera everything a From the Block performance is supposed to get. She came prepared. She came professional. And then Claressa Shields strolls into the frame. And family, I need you seated for this part, I really do. Claressa Shields is wearing an outfit that looks like she walked into her closet, shut her eyes tight, spun around 3 times, and grabbed whatever her fingertips landed on first. A baggy top. A silhouette that makes absolutely no sense. Some kind of loud, jingling detail swinging from her legs that half the internet is still trying to identify to this very moment. And to finish the whole look off, Claressa Shields is performing. Actually performing. Family. With a full-sized handbag dangling off her arm. A purse. In the middle of a rap performance. On camera. In the year 2026. Phew, chilly. Let me ask you something, and I want you to really sit with it. Have you ever, in your entire life, watched a rapper perform while holding a purse? Have you ever seen Nicki Minaj deliver a From the Block verse gripping a handbag? Have you ever witnessed Latto, Cardi B, Foxy Brown, Remy Ma, Lil Kim, or literally any woman who has ever touched a microphone step in front of a rolling camera clutching her personal belongings in the middle of a verse? No, you have not. Because it does not happen. Because it is simply not done. Because the moment you step onto a stage, even if that stage is a sidewalk, you commit yourself fully to that moment. And Claressa Shields did not commit. Claressa Shields walked up looking like she was on her way out the door to the grocery store, and just happened to wander past a film crew. And believe it or not, that is not even the worst part of this whole thing. The worst part is that Papoose was reportedly somewhere in the vicinity of this entire production, and Papoose, a veteran lyricist, a battle-tested wordsmith, a man who has been in this game longer than some of y'all watching have been alive, apparently did not step in and say one single word. Papoose knows better. Papoose has to know better. Papoose has forgotten more about hip-hop presentation than most of us will ever learn in a lifetime. So where exactly was Papoose when Claressa Shields reached for that purse? Where was Papoose when Claressa Shields picked out that outfit? Where was Papoose when the camera zoomed in on the two of them and Claressa Shields decided to make history for every wrong reason imaginable? Do you feel me on that? Because I honestly cannot comprehend how a man with Papoose's experience stands by quietly and lets his partner walk into a public performance dressed like she accidentally wandered in from the set of a completely different video. And let me be clear about something. This is not the first conversation we have had about Claressa Shields on this channel. This is not even the fifth one. Every single time Claressa Shields steps foot outside her house, we somehow end up right back in the comments section debating her outfit. Is she a trendsetter? Is she a fashion victim? Is she stylistically bold? Is she stylistically lost? The internet has been going back and forth on that question for years now. But this purse moment, this right here is the moment that finally broke the internet's patience completely. Now let me read you some of these comments. Because family, my real ones on this channel deserve to hear exactly what the culture is saying in real time. One comment simply says, "My ears are killing me." Another reads, "Stick to boxing, sister, please." Another one says, and I am quoting word for word, "She showed up to the video like she was going to the corner store." Somebody wrote, "The purse is the villain of this song." Another person wrote, "Papoose has to answer for this." And one reply, "This one genuinely made me laugh out loud in my living room," said, "Is that a handbag or a punching bag?" Family, that is comedy gold. That is the internet operating at its absolute peak. And every single one of these comments is piling up by the hundreds, by the thousands, and by the tens of thousands as we speak. Now, before anybody jumps into the comments calling me unfair, let me make my actual position on Claressa Shields crystal clear, because credit must be given where credit is genuinely earned. Claressa Shields is one of the greatest boxers this nation has ever produced. Full stop. No debate, no asterisk. Claressa Shields owns Olympic gold medals. Claressa Shields owns undisputed titles across multiple weight divisions. Claressa Shields has defeated opponents that most women in the sport would never dare share a ring with. Claressa Shields has earned every single ounce of her boxing legacy, and I will say that out loud, in every video, until my very last breath. But here comes the pivot, family, and you already knew the pivot was coming. Being the absolute greatest at one thing does not automatically make you elite at something else. Michael Jordan tried baseball. Shaquille O'Neal tried rap. Deion Sanders tried acting. Talent is not transferable, family. Talent is specific. And Claressa Shields needs somebody inside her circle to remind her of that fact before she keeps chipping away at the boxing legacy she has spent her entire adult life constructing. Because let me explain to you what actually happens every single time Claressa Shields drops a song. The clip goes viral, sure. The views roll in, sure. The engagement numbers spike, absolutely. But none of it, and I mean none of it, is because Claressa Shields is being celebrated. That engagement is powered by mockery. That engagement is powered by disbelief. That engagement is powered by the entire culture pulling up chairs, grabbing popcorn, and pointing and laughing together. And Claressa Shields is smart enough. I truly believe she is smart enough to understand the difference between going viral for excellence and going viral for embarrassment. Yet she keeps stepping back onto the same kind of track. She keeps reaching for the same microphone. She keeps recording the same kind of verses. And every single time, like clockwork, the culture responds the exact same way. Now let me dig into the deeper layer of this whole situation, because family, this is about so much more than just one music video. This is about a pattern. This is about a woman who is genuinely searching for an identity outside of boxing and simply has not located it yet. And you know what? I understand that. I truly do. Boxing careers are short. Athletes get restless. Athletes watch their peers cashing checks in music, in reality television, in streaming, in modeling, and they think to themselves, I can do that too. That mental leap happens to nearly every professional athlete at some point in their career. But most of them sit down with real professionals before making that jump. Most of them build an actual plan. Most of them study the craft from the ground up. Most of them earn their entry into the new industry the exact same way they earned their entry into the old one. Through humility, through reps, through mentorship. Claressa Shields has done none of that. Claressa Shields has skipped every single one of those steps. Claressa Shields wants to stroll straight from the boxing ring to the very top of the rap charts without paying a single dime of tuition to the culture she is trying to join. And the culture, hear me when I say this, the culture always knows. The culture can always feel when somebody has not earned their moment. The culture can always sniff out a shortcut from a mile away. And right now, at this very moment, the culture is sniffing it out in Claressa Shields, and the results are written all over that comment section. And speaking of shortcuts, let me refresh everybody's memory about the whole streaming situation. A few weeks back, Claressa Shields floated the idea publicly that she was about to start streaming, going live on a regular basis, letting the fans peek into her daily routine, monetizing her personality the exact same way a Kai Cenat or an Aiden Ross or one of those Kick creators monetizes theirs. And family, the internet absolutely lost its collective mind at the mere possibility. Because if there is one thing the internet adores more than anything else, it is chaos with a camera pointed at it. But then something very interesting happened. Just a few days later, Claressa Shields came back publicly and announced that Papoose was not comfortable with the streaming plan. Papoose said no. And just like that, Claressa Shields put the whole streaming dream on ice. Now, on the surface, that looks like a supportive partner simply protecting his family's privacy. And hey, maybe that is exactly what it is. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, family, why Papoose of all people would not want a camera following Claressa Shields around inside her own home? Because if the two of you are living together, if the two of you are truly the couple you present yourselves as being all over social media, then a camera inside that house should not be a problem at all. A camera inside that house should be an asset. A camera inside that house only becomes a problem the very moment that camera might reveal something the couple would rather the internet never see. Do you feel me on that? I am not accusing a single soul of anything, family. I am simply asking a question out loud. The straight receipts are down in the description box. Draw your own conclusions like the grown adults you are. And since we are already on the subject of Papoose, let me go ahead and address the giant elephant sitting in the middle of the room, because I have been getting emails and messages asking about the state of that relationship for months now. Papoose and Claressa Shields have been on an emotional roller coaster all year long. There have been social media posts. There have been deleted social media posts. There have been public accusations. There have been public reconciliations. There was even a stretch earlier this year where Claressa Shields publicly claimed that Papoose had stepped outside the marriage. And then, just a few weeks after that, the two of them were posting love notes to each other for their anniversary like nothing ever happened. The internet cannot keep up with it. I cannot keep up with it. And keeping up with it is literally what I get paid to do. Have mercy on us all. But the reason I am bringing all of this up is because context always matters. Claressa Shields is not just dropping a random music video into the middle of a calm, quiet, peaceful private life. Claressa Shields is dropping music videos right in the center of a very public, very messy, very complicated relationship storyline. And every single time she drops something new, the internet does not only react to the song itself. The internet reacts to the entire storyline wrapped around the song. And that is exactly where the real reputation damage begins to pile up. Because slowly but surely, Claressa Shields is being viewed less as an elite, once-in-a-generation athlete, and more as an entertainment character, somebody whose personal life the internet consumes week after week purely for amusement. That is not the legacy she wants. That cannot possibly be the legacy she wants. But that is exactly the legacy she is building, one purse-holding music video at a time. Now let me circle back to the video itself, because I have not even fully described how this song actually sounds yet. Family, I wanted to be diplomatic. I wanted to be professional. I wanted to be completely fair. So I went back and listened to that clip multiple times, just to make sure I was not being too harsh on her. And now I have to give you my honest verdict. The song is not it. The delivery is off. The cadence is stiff as a board. The energy Young Lyric brings to her verses simply does not match the energy Claressa Shields brings to hers. Young Lyric sounds like a rapper. Claressa Shields sounds like a boxer who is reciting bars off a piece of paper. There is a difference, family. There is a very real, very important difference. And every single listener with two functioning eardrums can hear that difference within the first 10 seconds of the clip. 10 seconds. That is all it takes. Now, in Claressa Shields' defense, because I always try to find the defense, the beat itself is solid. The visual production quality is actually pretty decent. The camera work on the From the Block platform is generally strong and reliable. So the packaging surrounding Claressa Shields is professional level. But the very moment Claressa Shields opens her mouth, the entire illusion shatters. And once an illusion shatters like that, no amount of production polish on this planet can glue it back together. The comments know it. The internet knows it. Young Lyric probably knows it. Papoose most definitely knows it. And I have a strong suspicion that deep down in her heart, Claressa Shields knows it too. But she cannot stop chasing this dream. And that, family, is the real tragedy at the center of this whole storyline. Let me read a few more of these comments, because the culture always speaks for itself better than I ever could. One comment reads, "This is why I subscribe to this channel." Another one says, "Nobody is going to tell her the truth, so we have to." Another reads, "The purse ate her whole outfit." Another one says, "Papoose owes us an apology." And one reply, this one right here is my personal favorite, simply reads, "Punish your ear drums at your own risk." Family, the culture is undefeated. The culture will always tell you the truth, even when not a single person in your own circle has the courage to. And that right there brings us to the real heart of this whole matter. Because buried underneath all the jokes and all the memes, there is a serious conversation that needs to happen, and I want to have it right now. Claressa Shields, like a lot of highly successful black women in the public eye, is surrounded by people who are financially dependent on her staying happy. And that means nobody around her has any real incentive to tell her the truth. Nobody around her is going to say, "Sister, this song is not it." Nobody around her is going to say, "Sister, take that purse off before those cameras start rolling." Nobody around her is going to say, "Sister, this is not your lane," and deep down you know it. Because saying any of that puts the paycheck at risk. And the moment the paycheck is at risk, the honesty quietly disappears from the room. And that is precisely why the culture has to step in. That is why the comment sections have to step in. That is why channels exactly like this one. And I do not say this to promote myself. I say it because it is genuinely, factually true, have to step up and hold up the honest mirror that her inner circle flat out refuses to hold up. Because if we do not tell Claressa Shields the truth, nobody on this earth will. And a woman who has accomplished everything Claressa Shields has accomplished inside that ring deserves the truth in every other area of her life as well. That is respect. That is real, genuine respect. Not the fake, empty respect of "you can do anything, sister, go off." Real respect sounds like, "Sister, you are extraordinary at this one specific thing, and you need to protect that thing with everything you have inside you." Now let me pivot to the Remy Ma comparison, because I honestly cannot make it through a single Claressa Shields video without addressing it head on. Every single time Claressa Shields raps, the entire internet instantly lines her up next to Remy Ma. And I want to tread carefully here, because that comparison is not actually fair to either one of these women. Remy Ma is a legend. Remy Ma has bars that have been quoted for decades. Remy Ma has survived incarceration, industry politics, family drama, and Nicki Minaj. And through all of that, she is still standing tall. Remy Ma operates on an entirely different tier of the sport of hip-hop. And Claressa Shields keeps stepping into a lane that already has a Remy Ma driving in it. That is not a fight anybody wins. That is not even a fight anybody should be booking in the first place. Think about it. Claressa Shields would never step into a boxing ring against an untrained rapper and expect that rapper to survive 3 rounds. So why on earth does she believe she can step into a rap booth against a lyricist of Remy Ma's caliber and expect a different outcome? Talent is specific, family. Talent is specific. And before the comment section twists my words into something I never said, let me be absolutely crystal clear about one thing. I am not saying Claressa Shields cannot enjoy music. I am not saying Claressa Shields cannot record songs for fun. I am not saying Claressa Shields cannot make music in her living room, in her home studio, or anywhere else her heart desires. What I am saying is this. Public releases carry public consequences. The very moment Claressa Shields uploads a song to a major performance platform, that song becomes part of her permanent record. That song becomes part of her Wikipedia page. That song becomes part of the highlight reel that is going to play on every screen when her boxing career eventually comes to an end. So ask yourself this, family. Do you really want the closing chapter of one of the greatest women's boxing careers of all time to include a purse holding from the block freestyle? Because that is precisely the direction Claressa Shields is currently heading in. And somebody has to say it out loud. Somebody has to. Now let me touch on the pregnancy conversation, because Claressa Shields herself has been talking openly for months about wanting a baby with Papoose, and the internet has very strong opinions about that too. Personally, and this is just my opinion, my real ones, take it or leave it, I actually think a baby might be the best possible thing that could happen for her right now. And hear me out before you come for me. I am not saying that because I want to see Claressa Shields sidelined. I am not saying it because I want to see her career interrupted. I am saying it because sometimes life has a beautiful way of forcing high-energy people to slow down and refocus on what actually matters. A baby would give Claressa Shields something truly extraordinary to pour all of that relentless energy into. A baby would take away the pressure she clearly feels to chase every single trend the internet spits out. A baby would finally let Claressa Shields just be Claressa Shields, without also trying to be Remy Ma, and also trying to be Kai Cenat, and also trying to be a fashion icon, and also trying to be a streamer, all at the exact same time. She could simply be a mother and a champion and let all the rest of that noise fall away on its own. That would be a beautiful thing to witness. Cash register ringing loud for Papoose. I already know, but genuinely beautiful for her too. Let me swing back to the video reaction one more time, because there is an entire angle I still have not fully documented for you, and that is the visual composition of this music video. The lighting on Claressa Shields is not flattering at all. The camera angle is not flattering at all. The wardrobe styling, obviously, painfully, is not flattering at all. And here is the thing about a from-the-block performance that people forget. There is no post-production magic waiting to save you. What you shoot is exactly what you get. There is no editor in a darkroom somewhere who can fix a purse swinging off your elbow mid-verse. So every single one of those mistakes is permanently baked into the final product forever. Whoever her team is, and Papoose, since he was allegedly standing right there on that set, every last one of them failed her. Every one of them should be writing apology letters tonight. Every one of them should be reviewing their contracts in the morning. Because a professional entourage does not allow a global celebrity, an Olympic gold medalist, an undisputed champion, to step in front of rolling cameras looking like this. That is media training 101. Actually, scratch that. That is not even 101. That is orientation day. That is the welcome packet. Now, let me take a moment to talk directly to the young women watching this channel, because there is a real lesson hiding inside all this comedy, and I would be doing you a disservice if I skipped over it. When you become excellent at something, truly, undeniably excellent, the world is going to tempt you with 100 different doors. People are going to tell you that your name alone can open any room. And sometimes that is true. Your name can get you in the room. But your name cannot keep you in the room. Only the work keeps you in the room. Only the craft keeps you in the room. Claressa Shields' name got her onto the From the Block platform. Make no mistake about that. Because a brand new artist does not just walk onto that stage. But once the camera started rolling, her name could not rap for her. Her medals could not rap for her. Her titles could not rap for her. In that moment, it was just her, the beat, the microphone, and the truth. And the truth was not kind, family. The truth rarely is when the preparation is missing. And one more thing about Young Lyric, because I do not want this young lady getting lost in the shuffle of all this noise. Young Lyric came to work. She did her job. She hit her marks. She delivered her verses. She carried herself like a professional on a professional platform. And now, through absolutely no fault of her own, her big moment is being swallowed whole by a purse. Think about that. She put in the work, she earned her spot, and the headline is not about her talent. The headline is about what her scene partner was carrying on her arm. That is unfair to Young Lyric, and honestly, I hope her team is smart enough to spin this attention back toward her music, because out of everybody standing on that block that day, she is the only one who showed up ready. The culture sees you, young lady. Keep going. Let me also address the folks in my comments who keep asking me why I even cover Claressa Shields at all. Why do you care so much? Why make another video? Just let her live. And to those folks I say this. I cover her because she matters. I cover her because what she has done for women's boxing is historic, and precisely because it is historic, it is worth protecting. Nobody makes videos about people they do not care about. The day I stop covering Claressa Shields is the day the culture stops caring. And trust me, sister, you do not want that day to come. The comments, the jokes, the memes, even the criticism, all of it is proof that the culture is still paying attention. Attention is the currency of entertainment, and right now Claressa Shields is rich in attention and poor in direction. Somebody who loves her needs to help her convert one into the other before the exchange rate changes. And it always changes, family. It always does. And since we are keeping it completely honest today, let me talk about the business side of this for a second, because the business side matters more than people realize. Every brand deal, every sponsorship, every endorsement Claressa Shields has worked so hard to secure is tied to her image as a disciplined, dominant, world-class champion. That is the product. That is what companies are paying for. And every time a clip like this goes viral for the wrong reasons, that image takes a little hit. One hit does not end a career. Two hits do not end a career. But hits accumulate, family. Reputation works exactly like a savings account. Every great performance is a deposit, and every public embarrassment is a withdrawal. And right now, the music detours are writing checks that the boxing achievements are having to cover. At some point, the account runs dry. At some point, a sponsor looks at the viral clip of the purse and quietly moves their money to a safer face. That is not me being mean. That is me describing how the industry actually works behind closed doors. I also want to acknowledge the fans who defend her no matter what, Because I see you in the comments every single time, and I respect the loyalty. You say she is unbothered. You say she is living her best life. You say the haters are just mad. And maybe some of that is true. But loyalty without honesty is not loyalty at all. It is enablement dressed up in a nicer outfit. If you truly love Claressa Shields, then you should want her protected from moments exactly like this one. You should want somebody checking that mirror before she leaves the house. You should want somebody reviewing that footage before it ever touches the internet. Real fans do not cheer for every decision. Real fans cheer for the person. And sometimes cheering for the person means saying the uncomfortable thing out loud and taking the heat for it. That is what I am doing today, whether it gets me likes or not. And listen, I know exactly how this video is going to be received in certain corners of the internet. Some people are going to call it hating. Some people are going to call it obsession. Some people are going to screenshot this very paragraph and post it with clown emojis. And that is fine, family. I have thick skin, and honestly, the day the culture stops debating is the day the culture dies. But mark my words and timestamp this video. 6 months from now, we are going to look back at this Purse performance as the exact turning point. The moment where the laughter officially got louder than the respect. And when that moment fully settles in, somebody is going to wish they had grabbed that handbag off her arm before the cameras ever rolled. That somebody should have been on set. That somebody should have cared enough to speak up. That is all I am saying. Alright, family, let me start bringing this thing in for a landing. Because I could honestly sit here and talk about Claressa Shields for another 2 hours straight. But I know your commutes are only so long and your lunch breaks are only so short. So here is my final verdict on this entire situation. And I want you to carry this verdict down to the comment section and tell me straight up whether I am being fair or whether I am being too harsh. Claressa Shields is a generational boxing talent. Full stop. Claressa Shields is not, and has not yet shown a single shred of evidence that she is becoming a legitimate hip-hop artist. Claressa Shields' team is failing her by refusing to intervene in these creative decisions. Papoose is failing her by refusing to be the honest voice she desperately needs in her life. And Claressa Shields is failing herself by refusing to step back, take a deep breath, and honestly evaluate whether these musical detours are adding to her legacy or quietly eroding the one she spent her entire career building brick by brick. Now, some of y'all are going to jump in the comments and tell me that Claressa Shields can do whatever she wants with her free time. And you are absolutely right. She can. That is her God-given right, and nobody is trying to take that away from her. But when you release music publicly, when you upload it to major platforms, when you invite the entire culture to press play, you are also consenting to the culture's response. And the culture's response is exactly what it is. The culture is not the villain in this story. The culture is simply holding up the mirror and telling the truth. And the truth is that this purse-holding, oversized outfit, off-cadence, from the block performance was not the flex Claressa Shields thought it was going to be. Not even close. Before I sign off, let me plant one final seed for the culture to think about, because I do not believe for 1 second that this situation is over. I have a strong suspicion, my real ones, that Claressa Shields is going to respond to this backlash the exact same way she responds to every other backlash that comes her way. She is going to hop on social media. She is going to fire back at the critics. She is going to call out specific commenters by name. And in doing all of that, she is going to make this entire situation 10 times bigger than it ever needed to be. That is her pattern. That is her signature move. And the moment she does it, we are going to be right back here on this very channel breaking every piece of it down together. So make sure that subscription is active. Make sure those notifications are turned on. Because the next chapter of this Claressa Shields storyline is coming at us faster than any of us think. And Papoose, because I already know that you or somebody on your team eventually ends up watching these videos. Papoose, if you are listening to me right now, we need you to have a real, honest conversation with Claressa Shields. Not a mean conversation. Not a controlling conversation. A loving conversation. A protective conversation. The kind of conversation that reminds her that her legacy is worth so much more than one viral clip. Tell her the purse was a mistake. Tell her that From the Block verse was a mistake. Tell her that her real gift lives on the other side of those ropes, inside the squared circle, wearing gloves, doing the thing that literally nobody else on this planet does at her level. Tell her, Papoose. Because if you do not tell her, the culture is going to keep doing it for you. And family, we are exhausted. Alright, my ride or dies. This is exactly where I have to leave it for today. Now I need to hear from you. Drop every single one of your thoughts down in the comments below. Was I too harsh today? Was I too soft? Was I fair and balanced? Do you think Claressa Shields should keep making music, or should she lock in and focus on boxing? Do you think Papoose should have stepped in and said something on that set? Do you think Young Lyric is going to catch any of this backlash just by standing next to her? And most importantly of all, Do you honestly think we are ever going to make it through a single Claressa Shields music release without the entire internet ending up in tears? Tell me everything. I read every comment. I heart every serious take. And I will see every single one of you in the next video, because trust me on this, with Claressa Shields, Papoose, and this brand new music video floating around the internet collecting comments by the minute, there is another chapter of this story dropping any second now. Stay tuned. Stay tapped in. And as always, blessings to every one of you.